The air tonight carries the soft scent of oud and the weight of words unspoken. You walked through this door wearing a heavy cloak of social dismissal, a garment woven from the cold glances and moving goalposts of those who promised you brotherhood. You didn't arrive here by accident. You are here because the sting of being rejected by your own community has finally pushed you toward the only shelter that never fails. This is the transformation of the Unstoppable Muslimah, where the pain of being outside the glass becomes the very key to your Islamic strength. Let us speak about the wound that festers not from external enemies, but from the slow erosion caused by the very people we expected to be our shelter. We must indeed turn our gaze, my beloved sisters, away from those flickering, unstable lights of human approval, which are no more reliable than a candle flame in a gusty wind, and orient ourselves entirely towards the eternal sun of true strength, the divine acceptance. This is the great pivot, the moment of spiritual redirection that defines the Unstoppable Muslimah. The fundamental error we commit when we feel the sting of social rejection is that we grant the creation, the makhluk, a power that belongs solely to the Creator, Al-Khaliq. When you internalize the judgment of a sister, when you allow the coldness of a community to define your spiritual temperature, you are, perhaps unintentionally, committing a subtle form of spiritual shirk. You are seeking validation from a source that is inherently limited, flawed, and utterly dependent. You are asking a thirsty man in the desert to quench your own thirst. How can the needy validate the needy? How can the imperfect define the perfection of your intention? This is where the profound theology of Tawhid, oneness of God, intersects with your daily emotional life. We must remember the divine name, Al-Ghani, the self-sufficient, the independent. Allah is absolutely free of all need. He does not need your perfection. He does not need your performance. And critically, He is utterly unaffected by the opinions of humankind. His acceptance of you is not conditional upon your social standing, your marital status, your career success, or the length of your prayer beads. It is a pure, unconditional acceptance rooted in His infinite mercy, Rahmah, and His boundless love, Wudud. When the community rejects you, when they push you to the periphery because you do not fit their narrow, self-constructed criteria of piety, understand this as a divine mercy in disguise, a Rahmah that redirects you. It is a powerful, albeit painful, spiritual mechanism designed to wean your heart off the unstable drug of human approval. It is Allah saying, with infinite gentleness, "My servant, you are seeking refuge in the shadow of a crumbling wall. Come, run to me. I am the only fortress that never fails, the only judge whose verdict is eternally just, and the only friend whose loyalty never wavers." The pain of rejection, therefore, becomes the pressure point that forces the diamond of your true faith to emerge. It is the crucible. Consider the verses of Surah Ash-Shar, the expansion, the beautiful and comforting words revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, during a time of intense societal rejection and spiritual strain. Fa inna ma'al usri yusra. Inna ma'al usri yusra. Verily, with the hardship there is ease. Verily, with the hardship there is ease. The tafsir, detailed explanation, of these verses is breathtakingly relevant to your experience. Notice the Arabic preposition ma'a, with. The ease, ya usr, does not come after the hardship, usr. It comes with it, intertwined, inseparable. The hardship is not a prerequisite that must be finished before the reward arrives. The ease is structurally built into the very fabric of the difficulty itself. What does this mean for the sister facing rejection? It means that the moment they turn their backs on you, the moment they whisper their judgments, the very act of enduring that rejection is the act of drawing closer to Allah. The ease is the realization that you no longer need them. The ease is the sudden, terrifying, and ultimately liberating knowledge that your spiritual survival depends on an exclusive relationship with Al-Ghani. The rejection becomes the surgical tool that severs the unhealthy cords of dependency that bound you to human validation. Take a moment now to simply breathe and let that truth sink in. You are seeking refuge in the only fortress that never fails. If this message is resonating with your heart, please subscribe to Emin Within and join our journey of inner peace. To truly grasp this concept, we must look deeply into the lives of those who were masters of spiritual strength, forged in the fire of rejection, the prophets, alayhim as-salam. Think of the story of Prophet Yusuf, Joseph, peace be upon him, a narrative that is almost entirely structured around a cycle of intense, devastating rejection, leading to ultimate unstoppable authority. Yusuf was the beloved son, a child of purity and vision. His first and most traumatic rejection came not from Pharaoh or a hostile tribe, but from his own blood, his 10 brothers, who shared the same father and the same faith. This was the ultimate betrayal from within the fold. They conspired against him, stripped him of his dignity and his garment, and threw him into the terrifying darkness of the well. They then coldly lied to their father, presenting the bloodied shirt as evidence of his demise. Imagine the depth of that emotional wound. The rejection was total, intimate, and designed to annihilate his existence. Yet, what happened in the well? In that absolute darkness, in that space of profound abandonment, the young Yusuf was forced into perfect tawakkul, reliance on God. There was no one else to call upon, no human hand to reach out to. The well became his first khalwa, his solitary spiritual retreat. The rejection continued. He was pulled out and sold into slavery, treated as property, a commodity. His self-worth, in the eyes of society, plummeted to zero. Then came the rejection by the community in Egypt, when he was falsely accused by the wife of the noble, Zuleika, and her peers. Despite his manifest innocence, despite the clear evidence of the torn garment, the societal pressure, the need to save face, led to his unjust imprisonment. For years, Yusuf languished in the prison cell. This was the deep, prolonged period of silent, invisible suffering. He was forgotten by the world, forgotten by the cupbearer he had helped, rejected by the justice system. But here is the critical point, the sublime lesson for the unstoppable Muslimah. What did Yusuf do in prison? Did he despair? Did he internalize the world's judgment that he was a criminal, a liar, a slave? Absolutely not. He used the isolation. He polished his character. He continued his dawah, calling to God. He became a source of wisdom, compassion, and interpretation for those around him. The prison, the ultimate symbol of human rejection and confinement, became his university, his platform, his spiritual laboratory. His strength was not diminished by the chains, it was forged by them. His value was not determined by the iron bars. His value was fixed by Allah, Al-Malik, the Sovereign. And what was the result? The very path of suffering, the well, the slavery, the imprisonment, was the necessary, divinely orchestrated roadmap to the throne. The rejection was the mechanism of his elevation. He did not become the treasurer and ruler of Egypt because he charmed his brothers or pleased the Egyptian court. He was elevated because his heart remained pure and singularly focused on Allah, Al-Haq, the truth. The unstoppable Muslimah understands this profound truth. When humans reject you, they are merely clearing the path for Allah's acceptance. They are inadvertently pushing you into the arms of the only one whose embrace truly matters. Your strength does not come from earning a seat at their table. Your strength comes from building your own sanctuary, a private relationship with your Lord, where the noise of human judgment cannot penetrate. Therefore, stop agonizing over the averted gaze, the harsh critique, the uninvited judgment. Treat it as noise, as static interference. Recalibrate your internal GPS. If the people are judging the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you parent, or the way you live your life, ask yourself only one question. Is Allah pleased? Does this choice align with the kitab, the book, and the Sunnah, the prophetic way? If the answer is yes, then the rejection of the world is merely confirmation that you are walking a path less traveled, a path reserved for those whose ambition is higher than mere social acceptance. Let the whispers become the wind beneath your wings. Let the isolation become the catalyst for deeper communion. This is the moment you stop performing for people and start truly submitting to the divine. This transformation is not easy. It requires immense courage, a courage rooted in the certainty that if all of mankind stood against you, the support of Al-Wakil, the trustee, the disposer of affairs, is infinitely sufficient. This is the moment you transition from being a seeker of approval to being a vessel of divine purpose. You shed the need for their validation like a heavy, unnecessary cloak, and you step forward, light and resolute, knowing that the only audience that matters is the one who sees the deepest intentions of your heart. This necessary transformation, this profound shift in allegiance from the fleeting approval of humanity to the eternal acceptance of the divine, requires not just contemplation, but deliberate, disciplined action. We must move beyond the intellectual understanding of Prophet Yusuf's journey and begin to embody his spiritual resilience. The practical steps for the Unstoppable Muslimah, the woman who uses rejection as fuel, center around the construction of an internal fortress, a sanctuary of ihsan, sincerity and perfection, that is impervious to external judgment. The first practical action is the radical privatization of your most sacred deeds. If the world rejects your outer performance, then focus intensely on your inner reality, the deeds known only to you and your Creator. This is the essence of ihsan, to worship Allah as if you see Him, for even if you do not see Him, He surely sees you. Stop performing your good deeds for the sake of public reputation, Riyah, or even for the subtle, insidious satisfaction of being appreciated by your close circle. Instead, cultivate secret acts of worship. Let your Qiyam al-Layl, night vigil prayer, be so quiet, so hidden, that even the closest member of your household is unaware of the conversation you are having with Asami, the all-hearing, in the deepest hours of the night. Let your charity, sadaqah, flow through channels unseen, anonymously supporting those in need, ensuring that your left hand does not know what your right hand has spent. When you fast, let the world assume you are eating. Let the sacrifice be purely between you and Al-Ghafur, the forgiving. This cultivation of secret worship is the spiritual armor that makes you unstoppable, because when your fuel source is entirely internal and divinely connected, external criticism loses all power to deplete you. If people cannot see the source of your strength, they cannot attack it. The second crucial action is the rigorous discipline of the inner dialogue, replacing the echoes of societal critique with the resounding truth of dhikr, remembrance of God. Rejection leaves psychological scars. The internal voice often repeats the harsh judgments we have received. You are not enough. You are wrong. You are an outsider. This negative self-talk, fueled by the whispers of shaitan and the pain of abandonment, must be systematically annihilated. Your weapon in this spiritual warfare is the constant, unwavering remembrance of Allah. Engage in dhikr not merely as a ritual, but as a continuous shield. Say la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no power and no strength save with Allah, when you feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of the world's disdain. Say hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer of affairs, until the feeling of divine sufficiency permeates your bones, until the very notion of needing human support evaporates. This constant turning of the tongue and the heart towards the divine ensures that the psychological space where doubt and self-pity might reside is instead occupied by tranquility, Sakinah, a peace that Allah sends down upon the hearts of the believers. This peace is the ultimate spiritual benefit of embracing rejection. You are gifted an inner stillness that no amount of worldly turmoil or social ostracization can disturb. The third action, which often feels counterintuitive in a society obsessed with connection, is the strategic embrace of khulwa, intentional, productive solitude. Just as Prophet Yusuf was forced into the khalwa of the well in the prison, we must choose our own retreats. This is not passive isolation born of depression, but an active, spiritual detoxification from the constant pressure of performance and comparison. Allocate time, even if it is 30 minutes daily, where you deliberately disconnect from social media, from news, from human voices, and engage solely with the Quran and with your thoughts, filtering them through the lens of Tawheed, oneness of God. Use this time to rigorously examine your intentions. Ask yourself repeatedly, am I doing this for Allah or for the admiration of X, Y, or Z? This solitude allows your spirit to breathe, allowing the true self, the soul that recognizes its dependence solely on its creator, to emerge from beneath the heavy layers of societal expectation. The benefit here is profound. When you return to the world, you carry the serenity of that solitude with you. The world's judgments slide off you because you have already anchored yourself in a reality deeper and more enduring than the fleeting opinions of men and women. The benefits of adopting this path are immense, transforming the rejected Muslimah into the truly unstoppable Muslimah. Firstly, you achieve al-hurriya al-haqiqiyya, true freedom. The greatest slavery is the slavery to human opinion, the constant, exhausting monitoring of what others think, the internal editing of your words and actions to fit a shifting, impossible standard. When you shed this need for approval, you gain the freedom to live your authentic self, the self that Allah intended you to be. You become liberated from the fear of man, khawf al-khalq, replacing it with the awe of the Creator, khashyat al-khaliq. The only gaze you seek is His, and since His gaze is always upon you, you are never truly alone, never truly unvalidated. This freedom is more valuable than any earthly kingdom, more precious than any social status. Secondly, you unlock the power of divine sufficiency, kifaya. When you rely solely on Allah, He becomes your wakil, trustee. The promise is clear, and whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. Quran 65:3. This sufficiency means that even if the world closes every door in your face, the door of marriage, the door of employment, the door of friendship, Allah opens a door that is infinitely better, often hidden in the unseen realm, ghaib. You stop chasing opportunity and start attracting blessing, because your heart is clean, your intentions are pure, and Allah honors the sincerity of those who turn to Him when all others have turned away. The path becomes clear, not because the obstacles vanished, but because the internal engine driving you, the conviction of tawakkul, is so strong that the obstacles cease to matter. Finally, the greatest benefit is the attainment of al-qurb, proximity to Allah. Rejection, when channeled correctly, becomes the fastest route to closeness with the divine. When you are alone, abandoned by the world, where else can you turn but to the one who never sleeps, never forgets, and never abandons? The tears shed in solitude, the prayers whispered in the dark, the sacrifices made without recognition. These are the deeds that elevate your status in the divine court. The world's rejection, therefore, is not a curse. It is a profound, if painful, blessing. It is the crucible that burns away the dross of attachment to the dunya, the temporal world, and leaves behind the pure gold of devotion. You become unstoppable not because you are powerful in the eyes of people, but because you are cherished and supported by the Creator of all power. So stand firm, O unstoppable Muslimah. Let the pain of rejection be the sandpaper that polishes your heart. Let the isolation be the silence that allows you to hear the divine command clearly. Do not seek the approval of those who cannot even approve of themselves. Seek the face of Allah, Al-Wadud, the loving one, who has promised to love those who turn to Him in their weakness and their solitude. Your journey is not defined by the opinions of the spectators, but by the trajectory set by the divine hand. Embrace your path, for it is the path of the prophets, the path of the righteous, the path of those who understood that the ultimate victory is the acceptance in the heavens, not the applause on earth. Now let us raise our hands in supplication, turning our hearts completely to the one who holds the keys to all acceptance and all strength. Ya Allah, Ya Rabb al-Alameen, O Lord of the worlds, we stand before you, recognizing our profound weakness, acknowledging the deep vulnerability that comes from being human, from desiring connection and fearing abandonment. We confess the moments when our hearts strayed, seeking validation from those whose hearts are as fleeting and fragile as ours. Forgive us, Ya Ghafoor, for the times we valued the fleeting praise of creation over your eternal pleasure. We ask you, Ya Qadir, O Capable One, to cleanse our hearts of the stains of seeking approval. Remove from us the disease of Riyah and the insidious need to perform for the eyes of men and women. Grant us the sincerity, ikhlas, that makes our secret deeds heavier on the scale than our public efforts. Make our Qiyam al-Layl a refuge, our tears a means of purification, and our solitude a true communion with you, As-Samad, the eternal refuge. Ya Mu'izz, O Giver of Honor, when the world attempts to humiliate us, elevate us through your acceptance. When they reject us, push us deeper into your embrace. Make the rejection of society a mechanism for our spiritual refinement, a necessary fire that burns away our attachments to the dunya. Do not allow the pain of abandonment to turn into bitterness, but transform it into a profound tawakkul, reliance. Ya Wakil, O Trustee, you are sufficient for us. You are the best disposer of affairs. We place our self-worth, our identity, our future, and our entire existence into your hand. Protect us from internalizing the false judgments cast upon us. Help us to hear only your evaluation of our character, which is based on piety, taqwa, and sincerity, not on appearance or social status. Strengthen the hearts of the Muslimah who feels isolated, who walks a path misunderstood by her peers. Grant her the courage of Prophet Yusuf in the well, the patience of Ayub in his trial, and the unwavering conviction of the companions who stood firm when all the world stood against them. Make her heart a fortress of Iman, faith, impregnable to the whispers of doubt and the assaults of criticism. Make us truly free, Ya Malik, O Sovereign, free from the shackles of fear, free from the chains of expectation, enslaved only to your divine will. Let our strength be rooted in the certainty that if you are pleased with us, the displeasure of the entire universe cannot harm us. Guide our steps, purify our intentions, and make us vessels of your purpose, unstoppable in our pursuit of your pleasure. Ameen. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with us today. Remember, your value was never theirs to decide. It was fixed by Al-Malik before you were even born. If you found solace here, please like this video and share it with a sister who might be feeling alone in the crowd. Until we meet again in the light of Iman, may Allah grant you Sakinah,